too spectacular, but he'll get the win, and that's what he needs to do. Right hand there from Flynn, nothing wrong with that. Alder seemed to have a slight problem with it.
That's better from Jordan Flynn. That's what he needs to do. As you said, Andy, keep his shape. Don't get dragged down to a certain level with Alder, who's a bit irky-jerky, ungainly. He's technically not great, but he's effective and he's got an awkward style. So I think Jordan Flynn's got to keep his shape, keep his balance, and stick to his boxing. Don't get dragged into a scrappy slugfest here.
Flynn just looking for the jab there, and he's taking the centre of the ring. Alder just working around the periphery, around the edges. Straight left hand, and then he just held the pose for the cameras. He is awkward, as you said, but he can be effective. He has been at times. Shots coming from odd angles. Boxing southpaw now.
That's a nice right hand from Flynn. That's better from him. Again, a nice right hand to the body. That's good. He needs to do a good shot there from Alder. I was going to say Flynn needs to use a few more feints.
Well, that was a bit naughty from Flynn, to be perfectly honest, because the referee had said break and Alder's back was to him, and he just gave him a cheeky little slap. And I don't think Kieran McCann saw it. Daniel Alder shouldn't have reacted, but I can see exactly why he did. I don't think the referee saw it. Maybe he did actually. He's coming over to this corner now to have a little word with Flynn. So a minute left in round 3.
That's better from Flynn. Just back him up behind the double jab, straight right hand. Nice and basic.
Throws that right hand well, Flynn. But does fall in behind it a touch every now and again, which he did there.
When you get an awkward opponent like that, kind of switching stances and, you know, ducking low, just jab the chest. You know, step in behind the double jab, keep it nice and simple, nice and basic. Bread and butter, double jab right hand.
Final few seconds of round 3. Flynn just looking to pounce with the jab, but dropped his gloves and held his feet a bit, and Alder just gave him something back. Well, there goes the bell.
There's a nice little screw shot, left hand to the body there from Alder, who's very ungainly, and sometimes I don't know if he's even sure what punches he's going to throw, but he's landing some shots. But I like the way Flynn kind of got back to basics, back to his bread and butter, straight punches, back behind the jab in the second half of the round, and he finished the round that strong.
So final round between these two. Kieran McCann calls them to the centre there to touch gloves. And it's been good, this. It's been competitive. It's been decent to watch. Alder had his moment in the second half of that second round where, as we reckoned it, he should have been awarded a knockdown, because he did do some damage there to Flynn with that right hand round the side of the head and got stuck into him in the 10 or 20 seconds after that. There's no doubt he's the better boxer of these two. It's Jordan Flynn, but there's nothing wrong with having a debut like this where you're asked some questions.
You know, it'll very much be a case of welcome to the pro game anyway. He definitely got buzzed a little bit with that right hand. He took a couple of hard body shots from Alder in the 20-30 seconds following it, so he certainly knows what the pro game's all about. A few heads have come together a couple of times, there's been clinches, but when he gets back to his bread and butter, straight shot, sets the jab up, uses his feints, he does look the better fighter of the two.
Alder just switching southpaw and then going back to orthodox, throwing a punch in the middle of all of that and just snuck it through. Again, Flynn looking to get on the jab. Just holding out that lead hand, looking to try and measure the right, and then Alder comes in and the heads go close. Looking for that left hand there, Flynn, and Alder came back with a right, a big ripping right uppercut, which missed by far enough.
It's a nice right hand from Flynn, measured it well.
Took a little bit too long to measure that one. Chopping down with that right hand was Flynn there as Alder dipped low at the waist. Into the final minute there, and Flynn just looking to try and tempt Alder in, which he did do, and then just cupped him with the left hand. This is a deliberate ploy from Jordan Flynn, I think, just to try and invite Alder onto him.
A closer round here, this final round, but I think Flynn having the better of it.
Alder's always got something to say though, hasn't he? He's always giving something back, and that's what's made this a good fight, right from the very beginning.
Yeah, and it's quite erratic at times, that makes him awkward.
Well, there goes the bell. Flynn just missing with a left hand. And 4 good rounds to get us underway there. Daniel Alder absolutely played his part in that one. It'll be interesting to see how Kieran McCann scores this one. He didn't score the knockdown in round 2, and I can understand why he did it, because at first glance I did wonder whether it was an arm that kind of pushed Flynn down. It did to an extent look like that. When you see the replay, which obviously the referee doesn't get, you can see that it was really just the punch which caused him to go down. So we would have had that at 10-8. But we'll see.
Ladies and gentlemen, please show your initiations for blocks and quick weight show for us. And after 4 rounds, we go to the scorecards. Referee scores about 39 points to 37 in favor of your winner. He now moves to 1-0 in his professional career, Jordan Flynn.
So Flynn gets the win, 3 rounds to 1 on the judges' scorecard. And Alder rightly getting some return there for the effort that he puts in. But for a pro debut, Jordan Flynn, I think, will have learned an awful lot from that. And Matt, you hit the nail on the head, I think, when it was a case of welcome to the pros, because you don't have fights like that at elite amateur level. You just don't.
No, you don't. You know, there's lows go south of the border. You get hit with the head. Opponents are awkward and erratic. They can duck low. The referee gives them a lot more leeway. So fights can be a lot more awkward and a lot tougher as well when you first come into the program. And that was, yeah, definitely he'll know the difference between the amateurs and the pros even after those first 4 rounds of his pro career.
And now making his way to the ring, Paul Cummings.
Had a quick chat with Paul Cummings yesterday. He turned up to the weigh-in wearing a very fetchy Christmas jumper. And he's been around the block, 33 years old, 46 fights. Almost all of those have been defeats, but he very rarely gets stopped. And he's in with another fighter who's making his debut tonight. I did tell you we had a few. And this is well trodden for Cummings.
And now making his way to the ring, George Mitchell.
Well, Mitchell, another one who's sold a good amount of tickets for this one, boxed at the Hoddesdon Club, which is a very well-known amateur hotbed, won 53 of his 60 fights, a bronze medal at the European Championships as a junior, a few national titles. He's made it to every national final since the age of 11. So started boxing young, has had experience boxing abroad as well. So he decided to take the plunge as a pro at just 18, rather than try and get onto that GB squad or pursue honours as a senior. It'll be very interesting to see how he goes.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are ready for 4 rounds in a middleweight contest. Your referee at the bell, Mr. Kieran McCann, and your timekeeper, Mr. Bob Edgeworth. Introducing first and fighting out of the red corner. Officially, he weighed in at 11 stone, 2 pounds and 7 ounces. Making his 47th appearance inside the ring tonight and wearing the blue shorts. From Warminster, England, please welcome Paul Cummings. And introducing his opponent across the ring in the blue corner. Officially, he weighed in at 11 stone, 3 pounds and 7 ounces. Tonight, making his pro debut inside the ring tonight. Wearing the grey and white shorts from London, England. Please welcome George Mitchell. Referee will now give his final instructions to the boxers.
Boys, listen, you both know the rules, obey my commands at all times. I'm going to take a break cleanly, step back, throw no punches. Mind your heads. Most importantly, protect yourself at all times. Shake hands.
Mitchell trained by Sablio, also trained Sherelle Brown. So 4 rounds this one scheduled for Mitchell in the white and grey, Cummings in the blue. And Mitchell has discussed a good amateur. He's been doing some handy sparring in recent times as well against the likes of Charles Frank and Joe Cordina. Also O'Hara Davis, who I think we might see down here a bit later on. He came through the super lightweight quarterfinals of the Golden Contract. But those are some very experienced and high quality operators to be sharing the ring with in sparring. And he's made a nice quick start here.
Yeah, I already like the look of him. Nice poise. Looks nice and composed, shoots that jab up, good speed behind it, and he likes to dig that right hand into the body as well. Nice confident look about him.
Cummings with a smile for him there. He knows all the tricks to try and get him through.
Nice little feint there, half step back. Yeah, and I like the look of George Mitchell here. He's nice repertoire, good variety, going down head and body. Good shots here coming from him, going up through the middle as well.
There was a right hand to the body there, and then he used the uppercut straight up the centre as Cummings was just stooped over a touch. And when he lets his hands go and puts them together here, Mitchell, there's not really anything that Cummings can do about it. He tried to throw a right hand himself there, and all he got back for his trouble was 5-6 decent shots.
Yeah, there's a good attack here from Mitchell. Going head and body.
That's a nice one too, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Good stiff jab followed by the right hand.
Yeah, that was a nice hard one too, right down the middle. He, I like the way he varies the power too. He's not trying to, knock him out with every single shot. He's, a few tip taps trying to find the opening, a few range finders with the jab, and then every now and then he'll sit down on the shots and put a bit more power behind them.
Blood coming from the nose of Cummings, who's taken plenty in this first round. The uppercut almost getting through there, then it did with the left hand. And he's just sinking his toes in and really letting that go, that uppercut. It's getting through almost every time he throws it. Cummings just pecking with the jab. It's a difficult situation for him because every time he looks to throw something back himself, that's when he gets into the most trouble. Although he did just graze Mitchell there with a left hand.
Yeah, but again, good combinations from Mitchell, doubling up on that left hook. Nice left uppercut there from him again. A nice left uppercut after the right hook to the body.
Solid right to the body there from Mitchell. Then he got caught by a left hand though from Cummings. Good body attack from Mitchell, and then the left hand did just catch Cummings. But there's blood coming from that nose, and that was a difficult first round for him, and this is going to be hard work for him to get through the 4 here, you get the feeling.
Yeah, Mitchell, good start from him in his first round in his career. Little half step back out of range there, then comes back with a combination. Accuracy, not brilliant, but Cummings tucking up as well. But I think if Mitchell just settles down here a little bit more and uses a few more feints and tries to get Cummings to open up and lead off, then he can, you know, get the clean openings and come in with some counter punches rather than hitting arms and gloves. He'll be able to open him up and hit the target cleanly.
10 seconds. Round 2.
This is Cummings' 19th fight of 2019, so he's been busy. And of course, when you're boxing out of the away corner like he does, the name of the game is get through the rounds, protect yourself, don't get hurt, so you can box again as soon as possible. But this may be his final outing before Christmas, or he could have one in the ledger for next week. If it is his last one of the year, then he might not necessarily be quite as brave as he would be normally, because a month's suspension wouldn't really mean anything to him, were he to get stopped because of the Christmas break that everybody takes anyway, really. But he's giving a few back here at the start of the second round.
Nice left uppercut there from Mitchell after the right hand. That's better from him. I like the upper body movement as well from Mitchell. Just needs to get a little bit closer with his feet before he lets his hands go, just falling short there as Mitchell pulled out of range.
Just pecking with the jab there, Cummings. Lead left hand again there for Mitchell, who's just boxed at a more sedate pace in this second round so far, maybe just biding his time as we head towards the final minute of it.
Yeah, well, he threw a lot of punches in that first round, and you know, a lot of them were hitting arms and gloves, so I think it's good that he's settled down and is looking to pick his shots more.
But he's got Cummings in a bit of trouble here, I think. Cummings just leaning in and managing to get hold, but there were a couple of good body shots in there. Then again, that right hand up the middle, the uppercut, which has worked well for him, with either hand actually, so far.
Yeah, that's better from Mitchell there, just slipping and rolling underneath the shots from Cummings, but I'd like to see him make him miss and then make him pay, come back with some counters. You know, when Cummings opens up, that's when Mitchell has the chance to land cleanly as opposed to hitting arms and gloves. Right now, Cummings is in defense mode and he's got his hands nice and high, but when he opens up, that's when Mitchell should be slipping outside the shots and countering him. Just got caught with a left screw shot there himself.
Just using the feet there, Mitchell pulling himself back out of range. So midway through this one, scheduled for 4, that's George Mitchell, who's making his pro debut, just 18 years old, and he's looked good so far.
Yeah, nice look about him, nice and poised, nice confident look as well, relaxed, good upper body movement, not headhunting, throwing plenty of body shots. Sometimes just hitting arms and gloves a little bit too much for Cummings, very defensive minded. When he does open up Cummings, I think that's when Mitchell should try and punch with him, you know, slip outside the jab and come over the top with the right hand, or even slip inside and loop the right hand over.
Corners, 10 seconds. Second round 3.
So into the third, George Mitchell in the white, Paul Cummings in the blue. Mitchell just back in with that lead hand. Cummings just trying to shuffle forward and keep him honest basically by throwing something himself. Decent body shot there from Cummings, who then just tries to get back into his shell. I think after that first round he would have felt that he probably needed to do a little bit more.
Nice work there from Mitchell, good left uppercut, and landed a nice right hook to the body as well. Got caught with a jab there as he came in with a screw shot, so just got to tighten up defensively a little bit. But I like the look of Mitchell. He's trying to throw different shots. He's trying to show us the variety that he has. He's nice and relaxed and a confident look about him. And he's only 18 years old, very much a boy still, so long way to go for him. But definitely a nice, confident look to him. There's definitely talent and ability there.
Looking for that left to the body, just trying to dig it in. Looking to try and put his punches together here, Cummings, so just coming back with enough to keep his man off him eventually. Solid looking and sounding body shot again there from Mitchell. Cummings though has taken those well. He's had to soak up a few of them. And Mitchell just a little bit careless there. I'm not sure exactly what he was trying to do, just stooping into the ropes almost, and Cummings managed to cut him off into the final minute of round 3. Do you think it's a case here that he probably did put too much into that opening round, because the punch output hasn't been anything like the same in the second or third, and there's nothing particularly wrong with that. He's still winning these rounds, or maybe he's just refilling the tank a bit for the fourth and final round.
Yeah, I think he definitely overexerted himself in the first round. He got a little bit giddy, got excited, and threw a lot of punches. I think he's slowed it down. That's a sensible thing. Just, you know, still got another round after this. He's winning every round. He's in control. Gets caught with the right hand there, though. So he's got, you know, can't switch off defensively himself, but he's in control. He's bossing things. He's controlling the pace. When he wants to fight, he's fighting. When he wants to go for a walk and have a rest, he can as well. He's landing the better shots, the more accurate shots. But yeah, I think he was right to slow things down a little bit. I think he set off a little bit too fast in that first round.
So there goes the bell. Just one to go in this one, scheduled for 4 at middleweight. That's worked well for him, hasn't it? That uppercut.
Yeah, nice double left uppercut there, and also a nice long right hand. Very much in charge, controlling things, dictating the pace, dictating the range. Definitely started a little bit too quick. He's settled down now, but he's got nice shot selection, good variety. Needs to tighten up a little bit defensively, but he's 18 years old. It's his pro debut. He's really only a young kid, but long way to go.
And last round.
Fourth and final round. George Mitchell, who's been in control of this one from the start, as we expected him to be, is in the white and grey. Paul Cummings in the blue. And they both started this final round a little bit quicker. Cummings getting through with a left hand and a right there. Mitchell, though, putting his punches together. Good short-looking 1-2 there.
Nice 1-2 there. Good right hand from Mitchell. I mean, technically, you can see he's made as a nice boxer, but he's definitely got the fighting instinct as well. He wants to stand there. He gets caught a little bit. Seems happy at times to take one, to give one. He's going to be involved in some exciting fights, I'd imagine, as he progresses through his career.
Cummings just saying to Mitchell, don't hit me around the back of the head, basically. He's a very experienced fighter, and that showed in this one, actually. The first round was quite torrid for Cummings, but after that, he just upped the work rate a bit himself, realised that going into his shell and just waiting for Mitchell to stop punching wasn't really going to be the answer. That's a decent looking body shot there from him.
Yeah, another good body shot there from Cummings.
It's heading towards the final minute. It's our second debut. We've got another one on the way a little bit later as well.
Nice screw shot there. That was a really well-timed shot from Mitchell.
Followed it up with a 1-2 there as well. Cummings is made to miss with the right hand.
Nice left hand there again from Mitchell. Yeah, pretty much resigned to cruise into a points victory now. I think he'll be happy with that. I think he'll definitely would like to hear what he says afterwards, if he admits whether he started a bit too quick.
Well, if he did, then he won't be the first person to have done it,
No,
and he certainly
not.
won't be the last, because the adrenaline must be, well, it must be just jacked up your eyeballs when you hear that bell go for a professional debut. And there goes the bell at the end of the fight. And good performance from Mitchell, and well done to Cummings too, because that was a difficult first round for him, but as fighters like him do every week up and down the country, he found his way to the final bell. Just taking the weight back there off that 1-2, for example, which maybe just lessened the sting slightly.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 4 rounds, we go to the scorecards. Referee Kieran McCann has scored about 40 points to 36 in favor of your winner, who now moves to 1-0 his professional career, George Mitchell!
So Mitchell, who's brought plenty of support here this evening, he sold a good few tickets, which always endears you to your promoter, to your management team when you've just turned professional. And it was a good performance. He was a good amateur as a schoolboy, as a junior, and certainly looks promising. There's ability there, and I'm sure it won't be long at all before we see him again. The Brentwood Centre is filling up. Golden contract later on, of course, for fights at light heavyweight, but before that we have the English title fight, and that's next up.
And now making his way to the ring, Lawrence Osueke.
So here comes Lawrence Osueke, who's taken this one at relatively short notice. We were expecting to see Azeez in with Dex Spellman. Spellman had to pull out with a back injury, and Osueke had no hesitation whatsoever in stepping up and taking this, which is exactly how it should be.
And now making his way to the ring, Dan Azeez.
Last time we saw Dan Azeez, it was at the O2 in mid-July, where he won the Southern Area title, the vacant Southern Area title against Charlie Duffield. Got off to a great start, bringing up a swelling on Duffield's eye after about 5 or 6 seconds with a crisp jab, and he got the win that night. As I say, his opponent for this fight has changed relatively late, but he's had enough time to adapt, and as usual, he's going for that old school, old style look. And this should be a good fight between two young, promising fighters.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is scheduled for 10 rounds for the vacant English light heavyweight title. This fight is sanctioned by the British Boxing Board of Control, and our officials ringside are steward in charge John Handler and area rep Des Reese. Your referee over the action, Mr. Steve Gray from Fleetwood, and your 3 judges scoring ringside, Kieran McCann from Harrow, Terry O'Connor from Birmingham, and Phil Edwards from Preston, and your timekeeper is Bob Edwards from Bromley. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the officials ringside are ready. The fighters are in the ring, and they are ready. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are ready to see some championship action, make some noise! Introducing first and fighting out of the red corner, he officially weighed in at 12 stone, 6 pounds and 6 ounces, with a professional record of 9 wins, 1 by way of knockout and 1 draw. Tonight wearing the black and gold trunks from Newcastle, England, please welcome Lawrence Osueke! And introducing his opponent across the ring in the blue corner, officially weighing in at 12 stone, 6 pounds and 5 ounces. He brings to the ring a perfect professional record of 10 wins, 7 by way of knockout and no losses. Tonight wearing the red shorts from London, England, please welcome Dan Azeez. Referee Steve Gray will now give his final instructions to the boxers.
Dan, let's have you in. Okay, boys, have a cold break, take 1 step back, don't throw any punches around the back of the head, and protect yourselves at all times. Touch gloves. Good luck, lads.
And it's difficult to pick a winner here. They both had big fight experience in their previous fights. Osueke we saw in a British title eliminator against Ricky Summers in Newcastle in October. That finished in a draw. So 10 rounds or fewer for the vacant English light heavyweight title. Dan Azeez in the red, Lawrence Osueke in the black. As I was just saying, Osueke with that draw against Ricky Summers in a fight that we felt he deserved to get the nod in, but it was very scrappy and messy and not the easiest one in the world to score. Azeez with a convincing win against Charlie Duffield. He's had 1 fight since then, a keep busy fight against Edgar's Sneedzer, which he won by 5th round stoppage. I saw that one and it was exactly what it said on the tin. Sneedzer wasn't that happy actually with the decision of the referee to stop the fight, but in the grand scheme of things it wasn't of any particular importance. This title vacant because Shakan Pinter's vacated it. He won it against Spellman in a good fight, really good fight at York Hall a couple of months or so ago, and he now faces Craig Richards for the vacant British. That'll be sometime early next year. And Azeez is trying to use that jab, the jab that brought him such an instant result against Duffield at the O2.
You know, a cagey-ish opening minute and a half here. Both men trying to establish their jabs, but neither guy having really found their range yet. A lot of posturing and a bit of feinting. Again, Azeez looking for the jab, just not quite there.
Osueke was a very good amateur on an ABA title, senior ABA title, just 3 years after taking up the sport. Got himself onto the GB squad, travelled the world boxing really. Went to the European Championships in 2013. But then Joshua Boatsi came along and made the 81 kilogram berth, the light heavyweight spot, #1 spot, his own. He's got the height and reach here, Osueke. He's got long arms.
Yeah, I think Azeez got deceivingly long arms, though, even though he's shorter and more squat. His jabs, got quite long arms, and he's looking to shoot that jab up from the hip at times. Again, not a lot in this opening round. Neither guy really having found their range or got a foothold in it. Both trying to establish the jab, but neither guy really dominating as of yet.
or final few seconds. Just stuttering with that front a bit there, Azeez, just closing that gap, looking for the right hand to the body, and there goes the bell. As you say, it was a tight one, that opening round. Nick Gittis just leading the corner there for Osueke. And he would have been very, very pleased to get this chance off the back of that draw against Ricky Summers, because a draw in an eliminator is the last thing that anybody wants. It doesn't do anyone any good at all, and it leaves you just a little bit stranded because the board aren't going to order a rematch for an eliminator. There was another one that took place not too long before that between Cody Davis and Zach Chelly, which Davis won, so he was just a bit stranded, Osueke, and then this came up and it was just what he needed. Azeez, I know, was being tempted to enter the golden contract, but he stuck to his guns and chose to fight for this title.
I thought it was a very close opening round, very cagey, both guys looking to establish the jab, but neither guy really did. I think at some point one of them are going to have to take the initiative and be a bit more aggressive.
Left hand there from Osueke, just clipped the top of the head there of Azeez. But again, the second round similar to the first so far, both of them just moving that front foot forward fractionally at times, just trying to get the distance they need. They're both slightly wary of each other. Decent jab there from Azeez.
Yeah, a lot of posturing, some feinting, trying to edge a bit closer with the feet, trying to steal half an inch here or there, trying to get into a position where they can land their shots, but there's still a lot of chess going on in there right now. Again, Osueke trying to throw a few more feints, trying to get Azeez to maybe lead off. I think that's a good thing. You've got to double up on the jab and even put 3 or 4 punch combinations together. Single shots here, I don't think we're going to do it for either guy.
Did some decent work with that left hand there, Osueke, for a 15-20 second spell. Just buried it up and got it through a couple of times. Not heavy, but just something that'll maybe just settle him a little bit, because no one's really feeling that reassuring shock up the arm when you land something.
No, they're both very defensive minded, so they're going to have to try and open each other up, and it's not going to work with single shots. They're going to have to try and feint. They're going to have to put combinations together. They're going to have to go up and down, head and body, and try and open each other up. At the minute, both very defensive minded first, so neither guy giving too much away here.
Azeez just tried something a little bit different there. Just jumped in really from the outside and then managed to get a right hand away to the body. Got caught there though as he was throwing a kind of right hand lead. They're just picking up pace a touch towards the end of round 2.
Yeah, that was better from Azeez, just chopping the right hand over the top.
Decent looking jab there from Azeez, and then looking for the right hand on the inside. Well, there goes the bell at the end of round 2. It's not the easiest fight in the world to score this one so far. It's Brian O'Shaughnessy in the corner with Dan Azeez. He started boxing when he was at university, at Essex University. So took it up quite late really, at about 19, and not a dissimilar story to Osueke, who took it up quite late too.
Yeah, nice right hand over the top there from Azeez. He landed a couple of those in the round. Like I say, very much tit for tat at times here. Both guys really focused on not giving much away. Their defenses are good. So difficult for either guy to open the other one up, but I think as the fight progresses, one of them is going to have to take the initiative and take a bit more of a chance and put punches together, combinations, single shots. You can't rely on single shots here.
Azeez in the red shorts there again, just looking to try and land that jab if he can from the outside, just falling slightly short with it.
Yeah, got to be careful doing that. Azeez is going to get countered over the top of the jab, but, you know, reaching for it or falling short like he does there. You've got to brush in behind, double up on that jab. Don't reach for it, get your feet closer and double up, even triple up on the jab, but definitely doesn't want to be reaching with that jab because Osueke will counter him over the top.
Both just exchanging jabs there, and it was Azeez who landed first.
Nice 1-2 there from Azeez.
Yeah, the right hand landed off the back of the jab, just kind of over the top. And it's Azeez who's just being a little bit busier here than Osueke. He seems to have grown in confidence slightly over the last 2 or 3 rounds, and Osueke, I think, is slightly guilty here though of just almost giving him that kind of, he's giving him a bit of ground and Azeez is happy to take it. Osueke just a little bit more aggressively onto the front foot himself there, and he does need to do that. We talked about his height and his reach earlier on, and he's not making it work for himself at the minute.
Yeah, and Azeez at times when he throws that jab and then steals half a yard, ducks down and shoots up with the jab out of the crouch. That's working well for him.
Osueke just popping out the jab there, but didn't really commit to it.
See Azeez trying to feint and trying to still close the distance with his feet, trying to steal half a step, get a little bit closer, and then when he does sneak into range, when he ducks down, as he does there, and then he puts his weight onto his front foot and shoots up with that jab. He's having a bit of success with that, Azeez. Both very cagey still here in the 3rd round. Very much a jab fest at the minute, but Azeez doing a bit more.
Well, this is the final 20 seconds, and I make you right. I just think he's nicking these rounds. I probably would have just about given him the first one as well, and I know you scored that one even, which is a totally fair call. He's just doing a bit more than Osueke. He's taking the centre of the ring more of the time, and judges like that. Osueke off the back foot there, just looking to try and land that left hand, but there's not much in these. We have to stress that.
No, I agree with you, Andy. There's not a lot, and it's very close. It's tit for tat. They're both very much defence orientated, very cagey. But Azeez initiating more attacks, landing a few more jabs and a couple of right hands as well. He's not outlanding Osueke by a mile by any stretch of the imagination, but he's just doing that little bit more. And for me, you know, he's winning these rounds.
I mean, it's almost a case of body language to an extent, isn't it? Because you're the one who looks almost through your posture, through your intent, that you're trying to dictate terms and make things happen, then that's the better look of the two to have. But as we've been saying, 3 rounds in, there's a long way to go here yet. He's just looking to try and start quick. Round 4, Osueke having to give a little bit of ground, but wasn't too uncomfortable at any stage.
Yeah, nice jab to the body there from Azeez. Again, I'd like to see him throw the right hand now over the top, upstairs after that jab. Jab the body, then right hand to the head. Again, stepping in with it there, just Again, Osueke moved out of it, got out the way of it, so he wasn't quite there with it, Azeez, but at least he's trying to get closer now. He's coming in behind it, the jab, moving his feet, getting into range, then looking to land the right hand.
That was a decent looking jab. Osueke landed a nice left hand on the back foot about 20 seconds before that. But for the most part, increasingly, or maybe since that opening round, it's Azeez who is making Osueke give ground even if he's not really landing, and that's what I was talking about really, with a view to the dynamic of the fight and how it looks.
Yeah, and he's initiating more attacks. He's trying to, in a round where it's 50-50, you look at the guy who's the one who's initiating attacks, the one who's trying to make the fight of it, and that's Azeez. You know, Osueke, very defensive-minded here. He's let his hands go a little bit more.
Azeez just creeping forward and then shot the jab up.
Yeah, and again, just trying to land the body shots, but Osueke cleverly just steps in close and smothers Azeez, doesn't give him room to get those body shots off.
Osueke again just looking for the jab there, but he's out of range. Bit of reddening up underneath the left eye there of Azeez, I think. Nothing serious.
And Osueke chopped the right hand down as well. But again, just not doing enough for me. Osueke is overly cagey here, I think. He's needs to get a little bit more, not even aggressive, but just got to throw more punches, let his hands go. It's okay circling around boxing, but you've still got to land, let your hands go and counter the guy as he comes in.
So 4 down as these two take a stroll back to the corner, and you can see just a little bit of blood there coming from underneath the left eye, I think, or is it just on the eyelid? I think it's just a little nick on the eyelid, and that's an awkward place for it to be. There's not that much blood coming from it, so I don't think it's all that.
It looks like a tiny nick.
Teddy Muscat from the Peacock in the corner there with the swab. Trying to get that adrenaline in, get that sealed up as best he can before the start of the next round. That's more of an irritant than anything else, I think. But Osueke has got to look at something like that and use that as encouragement for himself, really. Because as we've been saying all the way through, there's not a great deal in this. But we're up at round 5 now, and Osueke, he could be 4 rounds down, and this is just slipping away from him, or at least I think it is, unless he starts doing something about it.
Yeah, I agree, Andy. Azeez not doing a lot more, but he's willing to. He's trying to make the fight. He's initiating attacks. He's the one who's coming forward. He's letting his hands go more. Sometimes he's landing, sometimes he isn't, but he's initiating attacks. He's trying to make a fight. But Osueke just far too negative.
He has taken this at relatively short notice. Maybe there's a concern there about the 10 rounds. Maybe he feels that he does need to keep something in reserve for the second half. That's possible.
Yeah, he could be pacing himself for sure, but you know, it's round 5 now. I gave the first round a draw, 10-all, but I gave the other 3 to Azeez. Again, Osueke not being dominated, but he is being outworked, and Azeez the busier of the two, and he's the guy looking to make the fight. He's the one coming forward. Nice jab to the body there from Azeez. Like to see him throw good, nice right-left combination again from Azeez. He's busier. He is outlanding Osueke, and he's the guy who's looked willing to make a fight of it. Osueke too negative here for me to be giving him anything on the cards.
Osueke just letting the left hand go there as Azeez just crept in without throwing. shaping with the right hand there, Osueke. That's better, just looking to try and work that lead hand and then put the right hand on the back of it. Glove touch down there. Steve Grail just wiped those off.
Yeah, that was better from Osueke. Double, triple jab, right hand. First time he probably put a combination together. Up until then, it's all been single shots and the occasional double jab.
He came in with the left hand, but then Azeez just closed down that space and tried to let a couple go on the inside.
You know, and again, it's Osueke here is the guy that's looking to clinch. He's the one trying to get up close and spoil.
Into the final minute of round 5. So nearly at the halfway stage. Azeez against Charlie Duffield. Didn't go down the stretch in that one. Mark Tibbs pulling Charlie Duffield out with a few to go. Duffield never would have quit, but he couldn't really see the punches coming due to the swelling around the eye, so he withdrew him, which was the right thing to do. Osueke did go through the full 10 against Ricky Summers.
Nice jab there from Azeez, just slipped inside and like a lead left hand. Again, nice 1-2.
Azeez at the end of the round, they just looked to step on Osueke a bit, a slight touch of gloves between them as we hit the midway point of the fight. And there's that damage just around the left eyelid there, which, as you said, Matt, I don't think is anything particularly to worry about. It doesn't look to have got any worse at any point. It's always interesting when you watch someone boxing as Osueke is, which is basically from the outside giving ground, because it's really hard to win a fight doing that. You have to significantly outland your man to win a fight doing that, and at times step in and meet them. We saw Anthony Joshua do it last week, different level of course, the same principle applied. It is a difficult thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to be coming forward to win a fight. You can box on the outside and completely box the head off someone, out-punch him, out-maneuver him all night long. But that's not really what's happening here with Osueke. He's too negative, he's very cagey, he's very defensive orientated, and he's not landing enough shots, and he's not throwing enough either. Azeez sometimes not outlanding him by so much, but you know, he's the one looking to make the fight. He is throwing more and he is outlanding him. So, you know, for me, bar the first round, which I gave 10-10, I think Azeez has won everything since.
I wouldn't argue with that. So into the second half of the fight, then Osueke does need to just put his foot on the gas. He doesn't have to put it all the way down to the floor straight away, but he has to start working a little bit more here. And I wonder whether the corner were telling him that they could be boxing according to a plan. I did mention that he's taken this at relatively short notice, but it's always a fairly dangerous thing to do, I think, if you give away early rounds without really taking anything out of the tank of the opponent. But we'll see. We're just past the halfway stage. Steve Gray giving them plenty of room to work on the inside there on the ropes.
I'd like to see a few more feints from Azeez, and then just get a little bit closer with his feet before he jabs. He's sometimes reaching for that jab, and it hasn't happened yet, but Osueke could catch him over the top with the right hand as he reaches for that jab, but Azeez should be just trying to get a little bit closer with his feet, throw a few more feints, maybe side to side with the head, steal at that half a yard, even jab the body as well. That's better from just feinting there, trying to get a reaction out of Osueke to see what he's going to do. Again, jabbing and he's dipping there, which is better from Azeez.
It's a decent looking right hand though in the middle of all of that from Osueke, but again it's Azeez who was just working more, throwing more. Nice little sneaky right hand on the inside there from Azeez. Osueke just looks to lean on. This might not be a bad plan. He is the bigger physically of the two.
The good thing Osueke does defensively, he doesn't ever hang around in that mid-distance where fighters can put combinations together and tee off on him. Azeez just landing a nice hard jab there, but he's either out of range, or when you do come together, he gets right in on top of Azeez and smothers him, doesn't allow him to get shots off, you know, hooks to the body or hooks to the head. He just closes that distance very quickly and gets in on top of him, smothers him, and then when they're not punching, he gets back out and keeps it long. So he's well able to look after himself, but he just needs to be a little bit more, he needs to let his hands go more, needs to land more punches, because these rounds are slipping away.
Decent finish to the round there from Osueke, who let a couple of left hands go, but that's the Azeez corner. He's been with Brian O'Shaughnessy from the beginning. Stablemates of Lawrence Osueke a little while back. I remember going down to the gym, the Cool Box in Bethnal Green, to see those pair work a good few times.
Yeah, I mean, it was another scrappy-ish round at times, Andy. Azeez, again, landing a nice little uppercut there, just doing a lot more, and again, that jumping jab that he does, he leans up, puts his weight onto his front foot, and he kind of jumps in with that jab, almost like a lead left as opposed to a jab, but he's outworking Osueke, he's out punching him, he's out landing him, and Osueke by no means getting beaten up. He's very capable defensively, but he's just not doing enough to win these rounds.
So into the 7th, this for the vacant English light heavyweight title, vacated by Shakan Pitters, who will now meet Craig Richards for the vacant British title. That was vacated by Joshua Buatsi. Dan Azeez here in the red, Lawrence Osueke in the black and gold. Azeez, the Southern Area champion, Osueke, who drew that British title eliminator against Ricky Summers, so both very well qualified to be taking part in this.
That's a better jab from Osueke. You know, we're around 7 here now. If he has been pacing himself, having taken the fight at short notice, this is where he needs to kind of step on the gas now.
Jab upstairs from Azeez and then goes down to the body, but Osueke is looking to try and take the centre of the ring more in this round so far.
Azeez jabbing the body, that's a good move for him. I'd like to see him focus on that, keep jabbing that body, and I'd look to maybe bring the right hand over the top on the back of it. It's a better jab from Osueke.
Well, he's just looking to be a bit more proactive in this round so far. Even when you look at his face, there's just a little bit more intent there, possibly, just a little bit more of a twitch about him.
Yeah, nice double jab there again from Osueke, snapping the head back of Azeez. This is better from Osueke, just needs to, like to see him throw a few more right hands in, keep that jab going, maybe double up on it again, but try and bring the right hand in as well.
Osueke just moving in there and carrying Azeez back to the ropes. No real room for him to work in there, though. Azeez does well. Little short left hand, nothing heavy, and then just took a step away to his left.
Like I said, very clever Osueke, very good at getting in on top of Azeez when they do come together. He doesn't hang around in that mid-distance where Azeez would be able to put combinations head and body. He either gets back out of distance or he gets right in on top of him and smothers Azeez, doesn't allow him room to get the shots off.
It's heading into the final 30 seconds of round 7. This has been a more even round. Good jab there from Osueke. Buried it well, went to the body, then just shot it up to the head.
Yeah, this has been the best round, I think, so far of the fight from Osueke. Landed some good jabs in this round. His jab's been good. His defenses are good. Like to see him throw a few more combinations, particularly the right hand. When he does land that double jab, like to see him bring that right hand in after.
Azeez with the right hand to the body there. Osueke, though, looking to try and get back on that left hand. Right hand behind it, didn't get through.
Nice right hand there from Osueke.
So let's see how Carl Frampton's seeing this one. He's with Andy Scott.
I'm going to tell you straight now, we've got 3 rounds.
Dan Azeez, a hefty lead up until this point. How are you seeing it? Do you agree or disagree?
Yeah, no, I agree. I have him winning every round. Not the most exciting fight in the world. Osueke looks like there's no real ambition from him. He just looks happy to be there, but not the greatest fight. But Azeez, I've given him everything.
What could you say in the Osueke corner, I don't know, to give him a rocket, or what can they do differently to change the pattern of the fight?
I don't know, he must know he's behind. He just needs to try and force the pace, but unless he forces a stoppage here, which I don't see happening, he's not going to win the fight. But I don't know, he just needs a bit more ambition and to go forward and to try at least to win the fight.
Thanks, Cole.
Well, difficult to argue with anything that Carl said there. Osueke definitely did have a better round in that previous round. He worked a little bit harder, there looked to be a bit more intent there, but I agree with what Carl was saying there, because this is the kind of fight where if he can't turn this one around, Lawrence Osueke, then I think when he watches it back, or when he gets up tomorrow morning or over the next few days, he'll regret this, because it's a big chance.
Yeah, Azeez landing a couple of nice hard right hands there at the start of this round. I thought it was a good 7th from Osueke, certainly his best of the fight. His jab was good, he snapped the head back of Azeez a few times in the round. I thought it was a good round from him, but you know, bar that, really it's been Azeez throughout the fight again. And at the start of the 8th round here, Azeez comes out putting combinations together, landing a couple of hard right hands. His jab's been good, and yet Osueke, he's the guy that needs to turn things around.
Well, Azeez nice and positive at the beginning of round 8. Maybe he felt that Osueke did have a better round in that 7th round, and he needs to come back out and just try and close the door again.
Azeez feinting nicely there, good footwork as well. Again, feinting with the feet, pretending to come, doesn't come, tries to get that counter out of Osueke, and then trying to come in behind it, working the body well as well, behind that jab.
Landed to the body with a jab there, Osueke. Azeez just looking to try and circle around and just flexes his knees, drops the height a touch and looked for the jab, didn't land it.
Yeah, he does that nice little feint there and just dips down, then shoots up with the jab from the crowd. Nice left hook, nice right hand left hook from Azeez. A little right hand counter there from Osueke, but Azeez came back with the jab at the same time. There's that lead dip, kind of dips into his left, puts his weight on his front foot, and that kind of jumps up with the, it's like a jump jab. Nice jab there from Azeez.
One back from Osueke though, just swapping jabs in the centre of the ring. Azeez looking to get onto the front foot, fell in behind his right a little bit there, finishes with the body. He's just looking to up the tempo a bit here, Azeez, because I think he'll have plenty in the tank for these last 2 or 3 rounds. They should both have plenty in the tank. The pace hasn't exactly been high.
No, that was a good right hand to the body as well from Azeez a few moments ago. He's landed some good jabs to the body, Azeez, but I'd like to see him throw that right hand upstairs after it. Osueke is there for it. He throws a nice jab to the body and he gets himself into a good position, but he just stays there. I'd like to see him throw the right hand upstairs after it.
So Lawrence Osueke just taking a seat, and we are 8 rounds into this 10-rounder. English title on the line. Terry O'Connor, Kieran McCann, Phil Edwards, the judges for this one.
Yeah, it's been a lot busier. Azeez, he's been landing some, completely outlanding Osueke with jabs. Osueke has landed some good jabs himself, but he's just not busy enough, and he's too hesitant with that right hand. He needs to let his hands go more. Azeez, definitely the one. Got to be way ahead on the cards here. He's the one making the fight. He's out punching him, out working him, out landing him.
So into the 9th, and by our reckoning, Lawrence Osueke in the black and gold needs a stoppage here. He needs something spectacular in these final 2 rounds, because the rounds have just got away from him. Azeez has taken them away from him. That would be the more positive way to reflect on it, because he's done the work that he's needed to do. And when you've got an opponent in front of you who's maybe not doing all that much, you don't want to go crazy, because a 10-9 is a 10-9, whether you just put it in your pocket or whether you just rain down blows and do it in a more convincing manner. And that's what he's done, Azeez. He's seen what's come from Osueke. He's gone about his own work and he's done enough to win the rounds without taking too much out of himself.
Yeah, he's done exactly what he's needed to. He's way ahead, and also Osueke is a competent fighter. His defenses are good. You can see he's very switched on. He's very alert. He's very good at getting in close and smothering Azeez when they do come together. He doesn't kind of get caught in that mid-distance where Azeez can, you know, kind of get momentum, kind of work body and head and put combinations together. He steps right in on top of him, closes that distance and smothers Azeez, and then also gets back out way on the outside. So he's very good with distance. Osueke, from a defensive point of view, he's either way out or he's in on top of Osueke. He doesn't hang around in the mid-distance to get caught.
Osueke again trying to get onto that jab. Azeez just reaching, finds the body with the right hand.
Good double jab there from Osueke, going from body and head, snapping the head back of Azeez. See, he can do it, Osueke. His jab, when he doubles up on it and he kind of plants his feet with it and really stamps the jab in, there's good pop there behind the jab, but just too little too often. Sorry, not often enough. Too few and far between. Tongue twister here.
We got there in the end. Osueke just trying to get onto the front foot there. And the front feet haven't been that far apart for most of the fight. They've just been trying, as you said early on, Matt, just to gain that little bit of real estate, creep forward. And Osueke has given Azeez, certainly early in the fight, he gave him ground to take and he took it without doing anything all that spectacular. Right to the body again there from Azeez, who was signed by MTK after going round the major promoters and managers and seeing if there was interest. There wasn't really, because although he had a decent amateur pedigree, he was getting on a bit in age. He wasn't young. Neither of these two are actually 30 and 31, even though they're novice professionals. And he was a little bit of a difficult sell he found himself to be, Azeez, anyway, because he wasn't sure whether he was going to be able to sell too many tickets, but MTK took a chance on him. And at the moment, unless something spectacular detonates from the fists of Lawrence Osueke in this 10th and final round that's coming up, he's going to be crowned English champion. 7:30 on Sky Sports Action. It's the golden contract at this weight, this same weight, light heavyweight. And we've got some very, very interesting fights coming up. The draw threw up 4 good battles as always. Tommy Philbin against Sergey Michel, Bob Azeez against Hosea Burton, 2 British champions, former British champions going up against each other. Andre Sterling, who lost that final eliminator against Craig Richards in June. Boxers Liam Conroy, who lost to Joshua Buatsi for the British title back at the end of March. And then Stephen Ward, the WBO European champion and WBO number 11, takes on Ricard Bolotnik. So Steve Gray calls these two to the centre of the ring for a touch of gloves. Azeez looking to get onto the front foot. Right hand to the body there from Azeez. Osueke, though, just trying to reclaim the centre of the ring himself there.
I mean, Osueke took this fight at short notice, so maybe he's happy to put in a performance and lose on points. You know, if he gets a chance, go for it. But nice right hand there from Osueke, but you know, he hasn't really done enough. He must know that he's way behind on the cards here. Nice jab there from Osueke, but then Azeez chops over with a nice right hand. Again, nice right hand counter there from Azeez over the top of the jab of Osueke.
Osueke just pushing Azeez off into that far neutral corner with his forearms. Steve Gray having a quick word about that, almost midway through the 10th and final round, and he's just got to let his hands go here, Osueke, and throw caution to the wind, never mind the consequences, because that's the only way that he's going to get a win here, is if he lands something big. And you do see it happen. We saw it happen 3 years ago to Hosea Burton when Frank Buglioni was behind going into the final round. But got the stoppage against Burton to take that British title.
Osueke looks like he's happy to stand his ground and trade and be more aggressive here, but Azeez obliging him, landing a good body shot. Again, looking for the left hook to the body after the right uppercut through the middle.
Azeez again just leaping in with that jab. Didn't really land it, but ended up straight on the shoulder of Osueke, so it's a shot to nothing really.
Nice jab to the body there from Azeez, then trying to double up to the head.
And it's Azeez who's displayed the greater urgency in this 10th round as well. He hasn't needed to necessarily, but he's won this round.
Yeah, no, I agree.
To go with the majority of the others, and unless something extraordinary is returned by the scorecards here, Dan Azeez is going to be crowned the English light heavyweight champion, and he's making very good progress because he picked up the southern area back in the summer on that white Rebass undercard at the O2, and it's a close relationship he's got with his man Lee Eaton there. It was Lee who went to see him spar and then decided to sign him, and as I say, they took a bit of a chance on him because he didn't necessarily know if he was going to be able to sell too many tickets. So 99-92, so you've got 8 rounds to Azeez there, 1 drawn and 1 to Osueke, which was that 7th round, which was his liveliest round of the fight.
Yeah, I mean, it was by no means dominated or beaten up. Like I say, his defences are pretty good, Osueke. He's good at staying on the outside, and then he's good at getting in real close and in on top of Azeez and smothering him, not allowing him to go to work, not, you know, put body shots in or combinations. He takes the distance away, but he just wasn't busy enough to be winning these rounds. And Azeez, you know, was initiating the attacks. He was working the jab. He was throwing better body shots too.
Terry Kavanagh just having a quick look at the scores there, just making sure he's absolutely certain of what he needs to say. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds, we go to the scorecards. Judge O'Connor scores about 99-91. Judge Edwards scores about 98-93, and Judge McCann scores about 98-92, all in favor of your winner by unanimous decision, and the new English light heavyweight champion, Dan Azeez.
So Dan Azeez gets it by scores which were almost exactly the same as the one that Matt returned, just sat to my right-hand side. It wasn't the most difficult fight in the world to score. It was a fairly easy night that for the judges, and without wishing to point the finger at Lawrence Osueke in any unreasonable fashion, because he trains hard and he wanted this, it wasn't that hard a night for Dan Azeez, really. This is a title fight.
Yeah, no, Osueke looked happy to stay on the outside, and when it did come together, like I say, he was good at, from a defensive point of view, at nullifying Azeez, but also he's very negative on the inside. He didn't get to work himself. You know, he was way behind on the cards. He must have known he was falling way behind on the cards, but never really tried to change anything, wasn't prepared to take risks. And, you know, Azeez won that fight really without breaking first or second gear. He looked comfortable in there.
Well, that's the English title in British boxing. Not that old, actually. Hasn't been going for that long, but it's a great title to have. Southern area, now English, and I think he'll look to go the traditional route. We've got to get on with things and get the next fight in the ring. Everything going the distance so far, so let's get back up to Terry.
Ladies and gentlemen, now making his way to the ring, Kabood Omier.
So we've had a couple of debuts tonight already, and we've got another one on the way here. It's not his, he's very experienced. 52 fights for Kabood Omier, one of a number of Nicaraguan-born fighters now based in Spain, has There's a whole community of them over there, really, and they bring good value. They come to fight and they come in shape. And when he takes that top off, you will see that Onye is absolutely in that category.
And now making his way to the ring, Azeez.
Another man making his pro bow tonight, another one who's signed by MTK, another one who has shifted plenty of tickets tonight. He's done about 300, I'm told, and I think could have sold double that from what he was saying. The demand has been high, and he's had plenty of people around him this week too. At the press conference at the weigh-in yesterday. Good amateur, won the Haringey Box Cup, reached the national finals, won the London ABAs. Trained by Kevin Lilly, and Kevin Lilly's stable is going great guns at the minute. Good wins recently for Danny Dignam and Daniel Alder.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are ready for 4 rounds in a super welterweight contest. Your referee at the bell, Mr. Jazz Coakley, and your timekeeper, Mr. Bob Edwards. And now introducing first, fighting out of the red corner officially. He weighed in at 11 stone and 5 pounds. Making his 54th professional appearance inside the ring tonight and wearing black and red shorts. All the way from Nicaragua, please welcome Gabud Omier. And introducing his opponent across the ring in the blue corner. Officially he weighed in at 11 stone, 1 pound and 3 ounces. Tonight making his pro debut inside the ring and wearing black and gold shorts. From London, England, please welcome Azeez. Referee will now give his final instructions to the boxers.
Okay, lads, I've already spoke to you both. Keep them punches up. Don't want to see the heads going in. Touch gloves, good luck.
So 4 rounds at super welterweight. In the Bassi in the black and gold, Gabud Omier in the black and red. And Bassi straight to the centre of the ring. 22 years old, from London. As I say, he had a decent amateur career, good amateur record behind him. Kevin Lilly in the corner. And plenty of support, so he'll be looking to get the win under his belt tonight and then get back out again as quick as possible. Gabud Omier is a fighter who 100% knows what he's doing.
Bassi very tall for a super welterweight, 6'1". Nice right hand there behind the double jab.
Left hand to the body there from Bassi, advertising Toblerone, just getting ricocheted into the ring. Omier just backing up towards the neutral corner here. That's a decent looking jab there from Bassi as well.
Nice straight right hand as well, after that left.
Omier finding himself under fire, just falling in there and grabbing hold of Bassi.
Bassi following Omier around a little bit at the minute, like to him cut that ring off a bit more, step across.
He's just looking to inch his way into range and then let that 1-2 go. That's what he's looking for. Omier with plenty of defeats, but doesn't often get stopped. He's been the distance with the likes of Johnny Coyle, Johnny Garton, Kieran Conway, That's been stopped by a few. Shaquille Thompson did it, Shaquille Day did it, others as well.
Bassey just needs to dress things up a little bit more, disguise it. He's very obvious what he's looking to do here. He's trying to land that big right hand. So if he's just trying to maybe throw a few more feints, maybe dress it up behind the double jab, even jab, left hook, right hand, and bring it in behind that combination. That's better, and even don't headhunt, go to the body with the right hand. Army are very much a survivor, just trying to spoil, trying to move around, duck low. Or even the double jab, right uppercut as he steps in would be a good shot for Bassey.
So good opening round there, good first pro round for Inder Singh Bassey. Made a few headlines actually when he was an amateur, because he was involved in the campaign to allow beards in amateur competition. Amateur boxing previously had always disallowed beards because they protected you against cuts and cushioned blows. That was the argument, and so he'd always had to have shaved before amateur competition, which is as a Sikh man goes against his religious beliefs. So they had a conversation about it, they brought it to the attention of the authorities, and they decided to change the rule, and that was in June last year. One of very few Sikh pro boxers. Sanjeev Sahota is another one, you've probably seen him fight. Always in an exciting fight. Vijender Singh, you've seen over in the UK a few times. Bassey really looking to get to work here. Maybe he felt he just hurt on the a touch. If he did, then I didn't really see the tell signs myself, but he was stepping in there, looking to use those long levers. He does get good, he gets good purchase on some of those punches, but didn't really land any of them particularly clean.
Still following Amir around a little bit, just needs to cut that ring off, step across him, step to your right, and put the ring down. Amir just circling, and as of now, he's able to stay out the way again, circling round clockwise here. I'd like to see Bassey just step across to his right and put the ring down.
Just turning southpaw there, Bassey, as he was chasing on the way back towards the red corner. And the supporters just finding their voice.
Yeah, and even as he does, Amir ducks down and tries to get in close and smother him. I'd like to see him take a half a step back and throw that right uppercut. I mean, he's overshooting that right hand, and Amir's coming underneath it and getting in on top of Singh Bassey and just smothering him.
They turned southpaw there briefly. Now back into orthodox again, just creeping forward with that front foot, looking for the jab.
Yeah, that was a nice jab from Bassey. It's difficult when you're boxing someone that's happy to survive. He's happy to pull away at a distance, and he's trying to circle the ring. He doesn't want to get involved, but that's where Bassey's going to have to cut the ring off. Make sure he keeps that distance when Amir tries to rush in, get that little half step back out, create the distance, get a bit of room.
Bit untidy that from Bassey as he was looking to really get after Amir there, and again he's lining up some big haymakers here.
I think he's getting a little bit excited with the crowd, but he needs to dress it up more, needs to disguise it, needs to come in behind the jab, left hook, even jab, right uppercut, left hook. But Amir, who's very experienced, he's able to come in underneath these shots, he's able to get close to Bassey, he's able to tie him up and smother him and just run the clock down.
So he's midway through his pro debut. Nice coming in from the trainer. mentioned a couple of stablemate. Stanley Dignam with a good win against Conrad Cummings at York Hall on a really good show a few weeks ago. Daniel Alder, Danny Darko with a win for the Southern Area Super Lightweight title against Billy Allington in what was a great fight. Alder winning that title in fewer fights, just 6 than anybody's managed to do it before, coming out of a background of unlicensed boxing, very little amateur experience. Omie's last fight was a couple of weeks ago at the end of November. Lost on points over 4 rounds in Swindon against Vladimir Georgiev. I think the advice from the corner has been get on that jab and stay on that jab. See what you can do with that, and then maybe look to put the right hand on the back of it, which he did there. But I think Kevin Lilly would be happy enough if he spent the next 5.5 minutes just throwing that jab, because it's a decent jab.
Yeah, just got to get a little bit closer with his feet, because Amir doesn't want to engage. He's happy just to survive here and run the clock down. So he's always just trying to step out of distance. So Bassi has to get closer with his feet. He has to feint and has to almost initiate and predict that Omi is going to try and take that half step back. So feint, steal the distance with your feet, close the distance, then come in behind the double jab right hand.
Omi there, when he felt that he needed to, just sprang forward and grabbed Bassi around the waist, and the referee's just having a quick word about him coming in a little bit too low, dipping low, and then just closing that distance down. Good right hand, the 3/4 range there from Bassi, and he's maybe just getting Omier going a little bit there. He landed a couple of good solid punches.
He's got the right idea, as in the shot is the uppercut. Omier ducking down, rather than throwing the right hand over the top and overshooting it and allowing Omier to come underneath it. After the double jab, the right uppercut is the shot he should be throwing, but he doesn't quite, found the distance with it yet. He's overshooting the right hand, and then when he is looking for the uppercut, Amir is already in on top of him. That was better from him. Again, looking for the uppercut, but he was throwing it from too far out. He's got to get a little bit close. He's got to time it. He's got to predict when Amir is going to duck down and try and get a good right hand to the body there from Bassi.
Left hand to the head there, just blocked by Omier.
Again, a good body shot.
And he's got through with a few there. Bassi, Omier trying to protest, spreads his gloves wide and tries to get onto the front foot, then does get in nice and close and wraps him up, which was what he needed to do, because he found some good distance there, Bassi, just briefly when he had Omier on the run.
He's got to try and predict when Omier is going to kind of rush in and try and grab a hold. Then as he does that, take that half step back or time him and throw the uppercut. Then at the minute he's throwing it from too far out, or he's throwing it too late, and Amir's already in on top of him, and he can't get the right distance to get the shot off.
So bell goes, and the third round similar to the two that preceded it, although Bassi, I think, had more success there. His accuracy was just slightly better as he was looking to really put the heat on him.
Yeah, nice body shot there.
"7:30, the golden contract, the light heavyweights, make sure you don't miss it. We've seen the featherweights, we've seen the super lightweights, we've had some great action, we've had quite a few $5 knockout bonuses as well, and we've got 4 good matches in the 175-pound division. It's difficult when you look at the starting 8, if you like, to pick a winner. So 4th and final round, the touch of gloves between the two. Gabriel Omier in the black and red from Spain, originally Nicaragua, an away corner fighter who much more often than not gets through the rounds. And Inder Singh Bassi, a 22-year-old Londoner, making his professional debut, who's given a decent account of himself so far. He's shown that he's got some good tools there. They all need a touch of refining, which they're bound to, given that he's so early in his pro career and his boxing career in general, but there's definitely something to work with.
Yeah, a little bit overexcited at times, trying a bit too hard, loading up. Hasn't quite got that distance right. But, you know, in credit to Amir, he is awkward, he's good at spoiling, he's well able to stay out the way, and then he does get in on close to Bassi, ties him up and smothers him. So, you know, he's played his part in making this a scrappy-ish affair. Lands a good jab there, Amir, and then, you know, looks to hold as he gets in up close and personal with Bassi, but Bassi just needs to keep the fight at that distance where he can get the shot. That's a good right hand.
That was a great right hand there from Bassi, and just for a second there he looked slightly unsteady, Omier, because his back was to us, but it really did seem to catch him.
Yeah, that was good work from Bassi. He kind of found the right distance. He dipped to his right, he threw the right uppercut. It was a good shot, then he chopped the right hand over the top as well. That was better from him. Again, looking for the right uppercut, but too far out there. But he just seems, it's a shame it's not a 6th rounder, because he's definitely getting closer here. Maybe he's settled down a bit and finding a bit more rhythm here, and a bit more, the distance is better for him, I think.
Slight mark under the right eye of Bassi, nothing to get worried about. Omier caught a good jab there, square on. And then he just steps in and looks for that right to the body. The body shots, you picked them out in the previous round. I think they could be a weapon for him moving forward, because he's got that height, he's got those long arms, and when he gets up close, he can land them with some real power.
Yeah, and he didn't land it there, but the right uppercut's been a good shot for him in this round. He's landed several of them. When you're so tall, a good right hand there from Bassi. A lot of opponents are going to try and duck low and come in. So the right uppercut, you can get it at the right distance, you get that little half step, measure him with the jab, and then shoot the right uppercut. Be a really good shot for Bassi. That's a punch he should be working on.
So into the final 20 seconds. And this is our 3rd professional debut that we've seen tonight so far, and all 3 fighters making those debuts are going to get the wins, which is what you expect. So there goes the bell, touch of gloves between the two, and the Bassi fans will go home happy, because what they came here for is to see their man make a winning professional debut, which is what he's done. Gabriel Omier just lapping up the applause of the crowd as well, but he can be happy enough with that. It's always a nerve-wracking experience. You get in there with those small gloves on for the first time. Omier's done it plenty of times. He does it as often as he possibly can.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 4 rounds, we go to the scorecards. Referee Chaz Coakley scores about 40 points to 36 in favor of your winner, who now moves to 1-0 in his professional career, Inder Singh Bassi.
So Inder Singh Bassi off to a winning start. And he'll now just pose for a few photos. This is one for the scrapbook. Definitely, it's something that he'll never ever forget. He'll hope in future to have bigger nights than this. And you can tell that he's not quite used to the demands of pro boxing, because he slid out through that blue corner and he was halfway back towards the dressing room before he got the nod that he needs to come back the other way and sidle up to Andy Scott. The golden contract will be upon us at 7:30. But before we get there, we can get a quick chat with Inder Singh Bassi. He's with Andy Scott.
Inder, congratulations, you've won your professional debut. Was it everything that you hoped it would be?
Everything and more, man. The atmosphere, the vibe, the nerves, everything. It was crazy, absolutely crazy.
Do you wish it was over 6 rounds? It seemed that the longer the fight went on, the more you settled into it.
Yeah, from the amateurs, I would always fit over the 3 rounds. So the 4 rounds, it was like another amateur fight. I could have gone 6 and I could have taken him out hopefully as well. But next fight, we move on.
I don't want to do you a disservice. Are you 6'1"?
About 6'1", yeah. I think I'm over 6'1". But yeah.
Over 6'1". You're very, very tall for this weight. Do you see yourself as you fill out at your age that you'll go up through the weights?
I'm 22 now. I make the weight very easy. Kev's telling me to move down to welter. I'll make it that easy. But it remains to be seen. If my weight goes up, then I'll move up. If not, I'll stay at this weight.
Read some great comments from you this week that I want to get right, that you want to raise the profile of the sport amongst young Sikh men. It's a great platform for you to explain that. Go ahead.
You know, I'm on Sky Sports, you know, boxing on Sky Sports on a big MTK show, Golden Contract. So hopefully I can be like a stepping stone for a lot of young, not just Sikh, all athletes, you know, just take up sport and you know, make something of themselves.
Brilliant, Will. This is a great start and we look forward to watching the rest of the journey.
Cheers, thank you very much, thank you.
Well, he'll be able to go backstage now, get showered and make his way back out to ringside for 7:30, because that is the start of the MTK Global Golden Contract Light Heavyweights. Make sure you don't miss it. 7:30, Sky Sports action.